Okay, so to start, I do want to talk about the fight between Lightning Law and Laguna, because even though, yes, I did like the fight, I can understand why some people won't. And I'll say right out of the gate, the reason why I'm okay with how this fight played out for the most part, keyword being for the most part, I'll get into that, is because from the jump, Laguna knew his powers were the weakest against laws, but he also knew to basically set the terms of the fight, which was basically making an absolute knuckle dragger to see who, like, as Lightning Live said, both of their powers kind of cancel each other out, so it just became kind of a full-on knuckle drag. So with Laguna, he knew to kind of just make this a full-on knuckle dragger to see who could cancel each other out first and who could outlast the longest. And in a way, and I do like setups like that where it's just a full-on knuckle dragger and see who can outlast the other. I think I think the other thing that made Laguna's fight a little easier to swallow to me is we have to remember Laguna's background. He was once upon a time one of the four elements, Dragon Joe's elite guard, and Joe always came across as the type of person who wouldn't hire someone if he didn't think they were strong or capable enough to serve under him. So in that context, I don't mind the fact that Laguna ultimately did defeat Lightning Law. Now, here's where the fight did kind of lose me, though, is with the reveal of Laguna's Overdrive. And honestly, this is Laguna awakening his overdrive in this chapter is part of a larger pattern and problem I did start to notice since the post Dragon Joe arc where Shiki awakened his overdrive, which is to say, with each consecutive instance of someone on the crew awakening their overdrive, there's less and less build up to it. In the case of Laguna, like, it's one of those things where I guess we're supposed to assume he trained during the time skip to awaken that power, but because we never saw him train to obtain it, or just in more general sense, we were never given enough build up to it. That moment does make this fight feel like it's lacking a little bit of connective tissue. And I guess at the core, I guess fully what I'm saying is, while I still like the way the fight played out, it does feel like the overdrive itself is kind of becoming this bit of a convenient crutch for Mashima to use when characters need it the most, rather than probably building up to it anymore. Like the overdrive has become, like, I guess it was kind of inevitable with more and more overdrives being introduced into the series, but it's just become that thing where it's like when it comes to characters actually needing to learn how to use it, there just isn't much build up to it anymore. It's just it's just kind of it pops up when it's needed the most. I guess that's kind of my view on it. I guess I don't I guess I shouldn't hate the fact that that's the thing anymore, but it's like it does feel like it's lacking a little something special without the build up anymore. I guess that's ultimately my line in the sand with it. With that said, though, with that out of the way, though, let's talk about the ending where we see Xaoimei conversing with Mother, and definitely a question arises from this. First off, how did Xaoimei know where Mother was or find her? Because if I remember correctly, Xaoimei said she gained her power at the cost of losing her knowledge of Mother's location and being just unable to use her powers to find her. So was Xaoimei lying? Did Mother call to her in order to find her? Or since this is Universe Zero, is this a different Xaoimei who didn't lose her knowledge and memories of Mother? Because this also comes with a reveal that Xiaomei's real name is Luna, and the thing about a name like that is 9 times out of 10, it in some ways is tied to the moon. So that leads me to one of two theories right now. Either Xiaomei is actually some kind of moon goddess or race of beings that used to live on the moon, or the other possibility is that her very origins are that she was born from the moon, as in Mother like took a chunk of the moon and basically crafted her into sort of and gave her like human form, so to speak. It's and that's the reason as to what, and that's why we see the planet. That's why we see that little torn up planet that's always floating around Mother. Like I assume that is the moon at this point, and the fact that it's always shown to be broken in the way it is, it means something happened to it. So again, that almost leads me to kind of try and connect the dots that's who Luna is, a manifestation or being created from the moon by Mother or by some other force. But regardless of which one it is, this whole reveal does beg a slew of questions about Xiaomei's true origins, and that definitely need to be answered. Although tabling the Xiaomei discussion for now, let's talk about Mother, because up until the reveal of Mother dying, I hadn't really taken a good hard look at this, but those tendrils that are seemingly attaching themselves to Mother, I think it's safe to say at this point that those tendrils are part of some sort of life support system. That the floating rock mass we always see Mother sitting on is something that she's drawing energy from to keep herself alive, and that in itself begs the question: what's our time frame here? Because the way Xaoimei and Mother are talking, the latter is very much on borrowed time at this point. So the Eden Zero crew has to finish up this whole operation against one, but has to find a way to restore power to her as well. And honestly, I'm feeling more and more than ever that this is probably where Pinot might come into play the most, because from the beginning, Mashima's been building Pinot up to have some great role in the series, and I don't think the buck just stops with with restoring the memories to the Starshines. I think Ziggy also created her with the intent to restore Mother's power, but probably with the one severe caveat to that is that Pinot probably needs to sacrifice her own life in order to restore hers to Mother's. At least that's kind of the way I'm seeing it. I'm not saying that's only it. There might be a little more to it as well, but it's like, again, this all feels like Pinot is kind of like the crux of what's going to save Mother here at this point. Like, that just feels what's going on here. And I do gotta say, with us getting that big tease with Mother in the chapter, I do kind of expect Mashima to give us something more. I did kind of expect Mashima to give us something more in regards to the connection between Mother and Shiki, or just expand upon that connection. But I suppose he's holding off on giving us any further details about that because he wants to save it for the actual meeting between the two where Mother reveals all. And the one thing I will say though is that whatever the connection is, at the end of the day, it's definitely clear that that like with Xiaomei, Mother definitely altered Shiki's memory somewhat, and it's one of those things that just kind of begs the question even more so of why she altered Shiki's memories now with the added context that Witch and Wizard are his parents. Because for me, it's one thing to alter Shiki's memories of her specifically, it's another thing to alter Shiki's memories of his parents. And I'm sure she had her reasons for doing so, as we pretty much know that as it's been pretty much set up from the beginning, 20,000 years ago, the planet they were living on was doomed to die, and maybe the destruction of the planet basically, and coupled with Shiki's birth, maybe traumatized him in some way as a child. I don't know, but it's like the whole thing of erasing Shiki's memories of his own parents. That to me feels unnecessarily cruel to do to a baby, even under the circumstances of the parents technically dying before Ziggy rebuilt them as androids. Right now to me, there's a very dark shade that's being painted over top of what I can assume are good intentions from Mother. So, Mashima needs to. So I don't know how Mashima is going to vilify or vilify her actions here, because Mother does have a lot to answer for in regards to what she's done to Shiki. Even if Shiki forgives her by the end, I really don't know how Mashima can truly justify Mother's actions. Mother kinda really when it comes to Shiki specifically, whether the guy knows it or not, he really she pretty much really fucked up Shiki's life by erasing his memory. That's the thing I know for certain, and it's like, it's the thing I need the most background on. Like, why did she feel the need to do that? It's gonna be, it just really needs to be shown, in my opinion. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and with Crunchyroll, be sure to notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share it around, guys. Dark Knight of N.A. signing off. Later, everyone.